Good morning and namaste to everyone. Okay, sorry for that. Great. A very warm welcome to one and all present over here for another Super Sunday workshop. And considering the October month to be a month of cyber safety and security, more from digital citizenship perspective, we have been conducting topics, everything related to AI, cyber safety and security. Digital wellness is the topic for today. So we will be talking about something really important aspect of our day-to-day life, that's going to be influence of technological advancements in our well-being, in our way of behavior, and its influence on how much we have been pulled by all these digital aspects of our day-to-day life. So we're going to talk about something from the perspectives of education, from the perspectives of distractions, and also from the perspective of teacher training program. So today's topic is going to be on digital wellness. Thank you so much for joining on another Super Sunday workshop. For all the people who are joining for the first time, my name is Vasudevan Natarajan, and I am here at Super Teacher conducting various sessions on every Sunday, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, categorized as Super Sunday Workshop. We also conduct teacher training programs on various topics. We call that as CPDRs, which is directly related to your mandatory CPDRs as well. Any case, if anybody has to do it, do let us know. However, this Super Sunday workshop will also be a certified one. So you will be getting your certificates on your mail ID. Some of them, like in case if you would like to get a detailed session for your school, that could also be done completely. Well, let's quickly begin with the session. One important announcement is with respect to the teacher referral program. We have got some top 10 teachers, jinka code, the code already is present with us. The next Super Sunday will be the last Sunday to determine who is that person who has impacted maximum teachers out there. If the code is written by more than 50 people in 3 consecutive Sundays, that's called as a teacher referral code basically, that particular teacher will be receiving a certificate of appreciation as the teacher ambassador or a teacher of impact, in order to bring all the education fraternity out there to develop themselves. So this is more from an encouragement point of view, and also we would also like to show the gratitude by a tangible measure by giving an opportunity for discounts on the courses that we keep running. Just a simple idea, but yeah, more importantly, the certificate is something that we were more interested to give everyone. So in case if anyone is going to write the reflection form today, make sure to write the teacher referral code, the person who told you to attend the Super Sunday workshop. If you have a friend, say that's Vinuta ma'am, so you need to write Vinuta, then the last three digit of her phone number. So Vinuta 568 or Vinuta 123, whatever it could be. So that could be the code for Vinuta, so that there is a count of Vinuta on how many teachers she has impacted. Yeah. So so let's quickly jump onto the session today. And there are a lot of surprising factors that you would not have known before. This particular session, more from, just not from teachers' perspective. This will be more from parenting perspective as well. That's something that I realized during the preparation of this particular topic. Well, whatever I'm going to speak today on digital wellness is directly taken and inspired from the training programs organized by Ministry of Education, specifically CIET. Central Institute of Education and Training. I think you know about it, right? Let me quickly share my screen and show you where the information is taken from, so that right after this session, you could go to that particular website and have a detailed understanding on, whatever CBSE is talking about it. So here we go. So you are able to see my screen in few seconds, probably 3, 2, 1. That's great. So now you can see that cietncrt.gov.in. Now this is the place. I'm sharing the link on the chat as well with everyone, and you can click on this and you'll be surprised to see that there are a lot of trainings that is happening. You remember, according to the mandatory CPD hours, this is divided into two 25 hours, which is like total 50 hours. The first 25 hours has to be completed by the training by a government body. It could be CBSE, it could be NCRT, it could be Swayam, it could be Diksha, it could be multiple portals. CIET is one of the portals, and they have this upcoming training program from tomorrow, that's 30th October till 3rd November, on social media and cybersecurity. So I would request everybody to come to this link, log in here, register yourself, and this is going to happen for quite some time. You can see that these are the completed activities, and if you do the training parallelly live, and if you complete the assessments given with 70% marks and above, you will be actually getting the certificate, which could be accounted for your mandatory CPD hours, the first 25 hours. So this is something that I want to begin with. So complete information is taken from here, and I would humbly request everyone to please take this very seriously. At the same time, if you want to see the past programs that has happened, you just need to come to the website and you can see, let me show you. You can go to this particular link of CIET events. Why am I not able to see the events? Let me check here. Yeah, here we are. So you can see that the moment you come over here, initiatives, you've got all the portals from where the training happens, then activities, all the conferences and the ICT awards, whatever programs that are parallelly running. Workshop and training is the place where you need to click on. And the moment you click on this, you'll get to see all the activities that have been conducted in the past and that will be conducted in the future. So upcoming activity is not listed over here. Basically, it's written as current activity. So this was actually present in the upcoming activity last week. As it is starting tomorrow, maybe they shifted it over here under current activity. But anyways, so CIAT is the go-to place right now because the certifications are also getting provided. Some of the teachers and the principals had a conversation where I had a conversation where they said that most of the times whenever we go to the CBSE training portal, the seats are full. I'm not able to attend the training program, or else it's very far of distance. Well, that is just one method of getting or undergo the training. This could be another place, and this is happening on PME Vidya channel, or else the WebEx portal, and I think on YouTube Live as well. So you can just click on the link and you can get yourself enrolled and get the certification as well. Let's quickly continue with our topic of the day, and that's going to be digital wellness. And for that particular thing, I would like to go to the digital wellness area and begin with a slideshow. Well, it's an important term. We have understood digital safety, cybersecurity, and safety, and now we are getting into the topic of digital wellness. I'm really happy that this particular topic is gaining a lot of importance, and surprisingly, teachers, this is really serious. This particular topic by CIET was conducted by the resource persons of AIMS. AIMS is the medical college out there, right? And the doctors from there who are in the Department of Psychiatry, Dr. Yatan Pal Singh, then Dr. Lily Philip, many other people, they were part of this, who were actually conducting the training program. So whatever is being spoken in that training program is directly from the doctor's mouth. Now, when they talk about distraction, when they talk about psychological effects or effects of digital media, they are the right people to talk about it, and they've done a very good job. So today I'm going to show some of the snippets of what they spoke about and what's around us, with which we can understand the concept of digital wellness. Now, when we talk about wellness, they are beginning with this topic of what exactly health means. A healthy body in a healthy mind, a healthy mind in a healthy body. This is a quite an old adage where people talk about the importance of being healthy. Healthy doesn't actually mean absence of disease, according to them. They say that it's more from the perspective of spontaneity in a particular action, more from the perspectives of responsibility to help someone, or to take an initiative. It also comes up with an idea of whenever you're healthy, you'll be able to think more creatively so that you can benefit the society in the future. So the concept of health and being healthy constitutes not only to the physical body but also our mental abilities. So digital wellness constitutes to both. We would have come across the right postures to sit in front of the laptop or computers quite a lot of times. That's more from the perspective of a physical body perspective. But right now, with this session, we'll be touching more on digital wellness, which is from the mental stress and strain. Let's continue with the topic, and let's go with one small activity. Now, here in this case, what is digital wellness? Usage of digital platforms, which is computers, mobile phones, laptops, your iPads, the music players. It could be anything, including internet. Usage of digital platforms, avoiding its harmful effects. That's digital wellness. Interesting way of putting it in a very layman's term, right? Let's continue. Now, here I would like to show this activity to you, and this will give a good picture. And for that, let's click on this, and I would like to request everybody to answer along with me, please. So the question over here, teachers, everybody can see this, I think. What role does technology play in your life? Okay, this is the question. And well, this is by Google, and there is a separate website dedicated for digital well-being by Google. That's interesting. And it's just not by Google. All the organization, including Microsoft and Apple, do this. Let's talk about it. I am clicking on start experience. You could also actually click on the link and you can do this activity a little later. Now, these are the questions, affirmations, which you need to tell me yes or no. Now, here in this case, I tend to lose track of time when I'm on my phone. Never, rarely, sometimes, often. I tend to lose track of time when I'm on phone. I think I sometimes, yeah. In your case, often, okay. Never, okay, that's great. Sometimes, often, rarely, it's quite mixed. So I'll prefer to stick with sometimes. Okay, let's stick with sometimes right now. I go to the next question. I go to the next question. The moment I go to the next question, I feel the need to check my phone right away if it vibrates or makes a sound, that notification sound. So now you tell me never, rarely, sometimes, often. Well, don't tell me sometimes for this. Rarely, seriously, whenever there is a buzzer sound from the phone or there is a light coming on the phone, I think the first thing that you do is even drop your kid wherever they are and immediately take the phone to check it. Well, that has to be often. Well, this is my mentality, talking about myself over here. So that's often over here for me. I go to the next question. I go to the next question. I get distracted by my phone when I'm with my friends or family. Well, this is quite a subjective question. Not often in my case. I get distracted by my phone when I'm with my friends or family. No, in my case, it's quite of like quite rarely. But here in this case, many people say sometimes. Some people are saying often. Sometimes to avoid the family drama, we use the mobile phones. So all those people are who are saying often. I think I'm just it's a funny thing that you might come under that category. So let me put on never in my case. But anyways, so for that I go to never. What happened? Never. Okay, I go to the next question. I spend more time on social media than I would like. This is an interesting question. You think that I want to check my Instagram and Facebook for a few minutes and end up finding it like you're there already for 1 hour or 2 hours. And social media here in the sense it's not about Facebook alone, it's not about Instagram or WhatsApp alone. It's also about your LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is also another professional platform on which people share how professional they are in their real life. It's totally different scenario on the other side, but sometimes we are quite genuine over there as well. So let's include LinkedIn as well for that matter. I spend more time on social media than I, yes, often. I am there at often category over here. And fantastic, many people say no, few minutes. Wow, that's great. That's great. That's great. If you ask the question to the children over here, you'll be surprised. Everyone will say for every question, often. I'll stay on my phone instead of going to sleep when I intend to. Nobody should say never, rarely, sometimes over here. There's hardly anybody in this room who says that I don't check my phone before going to bed. Hardly anyone. It's often. Okay, at least to set the alarm, you take the phone, and most of the time it's like it's there right besides your pillow, or in a reach, in a place of reach where you can easily pick it up. So this has to be often. I'm just trying to put this on you. It's same for me as well. So I'm just going over here. And now I feel like I'm missing something important at work if I don't check my phone. Now this is dangerous as well. We will be talking about carrying work to home. It's not work from home, it's carrying work to home. What exactly this is? I feel like I'm missing something important at work if I don't check my phone. It's like sincere distraction. For me, it is often. Let's put with often and let's go forward. Now let's continue again. Let's go with the next. If I have a question, I reach for my phone for an immediate answer. Yeah, this is quite common and it's a genuine news, right? If I come across a very complex word called as say paranormal, claustrophobic, something that I do not know. I'm just so immediately take the phone to check what is the meaning of it. Back in those days, I still remember I used to have a very big dictionary called as Oxford. Oxford dictionary used to be there, and whenever I did not know any word, I never went out to pick up the dictionary. My parents used to get it to me, and but now it has become very easy on the mobile phone. So the problem is not about you wanting to check. The problem is it has become easy. Just because it has become easy, it has become difficult right now for us to come out of it. We're going to talk about that as well. Well, for this, it's often for me. Let's continue further. Let's continue further. Two more questions, I guess. I feel overwhelmed by the amount of unread emails I have. Yeah, that's quite a burden. That's quite a burden. See, whenever you look into the inbox, mostly this happens with the principals out there. The moment they open the inbox right in the morning, they'll see nearly 200, 300 unread mails which they probably would have received in the last 2 to 3 days, and that kind of irritates, and this irritation leads you to immediately mark everything and make it red. That could be the case, or else you go through it one by one, one by one. or else you will never go through it. You'll always look into it and always feel miserable about it. Array, so much calm is left for me to do, things like that. Well, these are not actually, a negative aspect. We'll talk about it. But if it happens, in my case, it's super often. I've got nearly 900 mails that are unread. I'm not taking an initiative to read them, but I'm worrying about it every day when I open the inbox. That's often. Let's go forward. Let's go forward. Oh, that's it. That was the last question. So now based on the result, based on whatever we have selected, so Google says that here are a few tips to get you started on your path to digital well-being. And that's how they start with the suggestions one by one. And this is what our session is going to be completely about today. It's going to be approximately 40-45 minutes maximum after this. And let's understand what exactly digital well-being means. And for that, I would like to go back to the slides and give credits to Ames and CIET for conducting an amazing session. And this is one of the screenshots taken from that YouTube channel of CIET. And I've just put over here, like, what exactly does it mean? We'll talk about it. So I would like to play a small video, teachers. I'm sharing the sound. Watch this. This is quite interesting.
I think technology in general has been worked into everyone's day-to-day life.
It is the first thing I do when I wake up and when I go to bed.
It's easy to just pick up your phone, turn it on.
Call a ride and just go wherever you want.
New places to eat, new places to explore.
It's great to stay in touch.
I met my girlfriend on online dating apps, so I'd say that's a positive right there.
Do you feel like you're in control of technology, or is technology in control of you?
Oof.
Oh, it's definitely more control of me.
My biggest issue with it is knowing when to stop.
5 and 10 minutes here and there, I feel like takes up a bunch of my day.
I feel like it's in control of me, like if my phone's dead for like half the day or something and I'm going crazy.
I think my math grade is the way it is because of my phone.
Now I notice my eyes are like I blink a little bit more, they get tired.
He should just throw his phone away.
Usually I feel in control of technology. Usually
I can catch myself and be like, you need to chill out.
I think you have to set a limit and say that you control the phone, it doesn't control you.
I'd say most people hate on technology, but if you're using it for good things, I think it's really helpful.
Well, we think it's important that they do have access to it and learn it.
Technology is not so much as a necessary evil, it's a necessary good that could go either way. You know, the jury's out. It's up to us as to what we do with the technology.
Well, that was well-being by Google about talking about the technology being in control of our daily lives. When we talk about digital being as a concept, teachers, we actually refer to the fact of how much influence do we have with respect to internet and computers and mobile phones. And this is not related to cybersecurity directly, but the knowledge of cybersecurity is very important over here. Digital wellness is all about awareness. Knowing that what harm could it cause, and being aware of that fact will allow us to change our path whenever we are getting distracted. Some of the harmful effects of the excessive access to internet. Now, when we say about internet, it's not about, okay, I think somebody's, 1 second. Yeah, here we go. Okay, done. Yeah, be careful about the annotation. So excessive access to internet. Now, when we talk about the distraction, now let it not be just about the internet. Let it be our day-to-day life also. We get distracted with things that fascinates us. It could be a human being. It could be an object, and it could be an eatable. It could be an object like a car or a bike in the transport. So it could be anything. The more access you have to that distraction, more is the distraction. It's very nicely put. So what are the harmful effects of excessive access? Just imagine you've got excessive access to a kind of people whom you like. It's like a certain access to kind of people you like. You'll find yourself to be like that person within few days. That is why it is said that whenever a child is raised in a particular surrounding, what really matters is not the school teaching, not the parents teaching, it's about the environment's preaching. So it's like child develops their attitude, the behavior with the place where they are from. Well, it has got a certain amount of impact. Well, that can be rechannelized as well. That's a different story altogether. But the point is, it's all about the access. Phone is lying just over here, and you know the password to it, and you've got all the icons right on the screen on the top. You tend to open them, even if they don't blink or come up with a buzzer sound. So what are the harmful effects? So these are some of the things. So they said that it leads to acute stress disorder. Now, stress disorder is all about the release of cortisols in our body, some sort of stress hormones that affect us to a large extent. Now, what do they actually mean by it? So there are some aspects of fear of missing out. Whenever a child is talking about some social media aspect in the class, and if the other child does not know about it, that child thinks that, oh, he knew about it, I didn't know about it, probably I should be using more of Facebook, probably I should be using more of WhatsApp. Oh, this app update has come, I didn't even know, let me also update it. So these are some of the things that leads to a concept of fear of missing out, FOMO. And you know about it. If you know about it, you can actually put it on the chat as well. And if you are following fear of missing out on your other aspects as well, for example, other aspects in the sense, there could be some teachers in the school who will have a positive productive competitiveness among them, that teacher has used an amazing tool today in the class, let me also use the same tool in my period tomorrow, but in a better way. Now this competition is productive, it's good, it's nice, but when it takes over the control of your decision making, that's where the problem starts. That leads to something called as stress, acute stress disorder, and this is directly related to some hormones including dopamine. We'll talk about that as well. There is something called as anxiety disorder. People are really, it's in fact, there was a challenge where you've got the phones kept over there, it's being monitored without even the person knowing about it. uh, what are the chances that there is a blinking in the phone, there's a notification coming in the phone, and you don't touch the phone? There are very less chances. It's very difficult to resist picking up the phone. That's and if you don't do that, your anxiety levels actually shoot up. That's another thing that they spoke about, and unfortunately nobody knows about it. Now we are coming up with a generation, most of the teachers and the people from education faculty who are present right now, you have come from the generation where there were never any mobile present over there in your home. Probably you had landlines. Some people did not even have mobile phones. Like in my childhood days, I never saw even the landline phone for quite some time. After a very long time, it used to be there. And now we are there where each home has got nearly 10 to 15 phones. So it's like there's a drastic change. So you are the right people to understand the differences that it has got. But the people who are coming right now, the children who are born right now in another, like what, 5 to 10 years back, they can't know what's going wrong. Hence, this is the most important thing that a teacher or a parent need to speak to the child, the importance of not or being away from electronics. Let's continue. There is one very important thing called poor self-esteem and negative self-image. They both come together very close to each other. I think you also know this. Most of the times when we go through Instagram or Facebook, when you look at people over there, you think that they're very happy. Just imagine I put a photo. I'm just putting a photo of me. I look really smart with a blazer on, and I'm there in the most exotic place at the background, and I upload this photo. Now all the people who are going to look at this photo, they're thinking that, oh, Vasu is having an amazing life. This fellow looks so smart, or this fellow is there in an exotic place. But in order to get the right photo out there, we check the camera angle, we edit the photo to a large extent. I'm not the color that you're seeing me right now over this particular session, right? You know me, if you have seen me in physical aspects, you know that I'm way darker than this. So I've used some filters over here. The point over here is the impressions that get created with social media. When you scroll through, you think that the other person is actually living a better life than you. That is where this negative self-image starts coming into picture, and that leads to more self-obsessed work. You start applying makeups, or you start uploading more number of pictures in order to prove subconsciously fact that you are living a better life than the most other people. And that particular the that particular thing is directly affected with there is thing called as likes and dislikes. If there are 100 likes, you're the happiest on earth. You're like, I got 100 likes. You've got 10,000 friends on Facebook, you just got 100 likes. We don't talk about it. We think that we've got 100 likes. So this like as a concept has taken away most people's peace in their life. There could be posts where there could be no likes, and that's good, that's fine. But what's really important is a person with low self-esteem because of digital non-well-being, gets this aversion of, or want of more likes. And that's how all these influencers gain attention. It's all about, look at me, that's about poor self-esteem and negative self-image. Well, there is another important concept from physical attributes. When we use our mobile phone or internet regularly, improper sleep wake cycle is something that's highly affected. They call this a circadian rhythm. And I think whatever terms I'm using, I would request you to please Google about it, because these are very important for us to know. Considering this to be a 40-45 minute session, I'm not really prolonging on the nitty gritties of all these things. So circadian rhythm is very important for us to maintain, to have a proper sleep cycle. Some people say that I require only 4 hours of sleep. Some people say I need 7 hours of sleep. Some people say that 1 hour of sleep is more than sufficient for my life. Yeah, especially the chief executive officer of Super Teacher, Banu Prasad, he says that like I need 4 hours of sleep maximum, and I'm happy about it. Well, people have formed their rhythm according to that. Now, this circadian rhythm that we are talking about, easily gets affected with mobile phone exposure, and that is why these days these mobile phones have this got night display. Do you know that? It does not affect you. It, like, the brain does not, the comes to know that okay, it's actually night, and this fellow is still using the mobile phone, something like that. Well, that's about sleep wake cycle. Early years children suffering from delayed milestones. I have witnessed this personally from many parents and teachers. The students tend to talk late. I think some of the teachers, if you know about it, I would request you to please put it on the chat. Have you come across any situation where the child, even after 3 years of age, they do not speak much? Even after 3.5 years of age, they are like very hesitant to talk to another person. Surprisingly, nobody knew the reason for it, and the cases were rising like anything. Very recently, I think this happened within 1 year, the doctors found out that it was because of exposure to all these gadgets, especially the YouTube videos of cartoons and all those things. People started coming up with suggestions that some cartoons actually have a negative impact on a child's brain development, which leads them to delayed milestones. And this directly affects their speech, their language development, and more importantly, socio-emotional development. A child would prefer to speak to a person whom he sees on the video rather than the person whose mother and father right in front of them. If you have come across such kind of situation, I would really request you to put it on the chat so that now other people are aware about it. So it's very important. It is suggested until 14 years of age, a child should not be given a mobile phone at all for their self use. It has to be completely monitored. It has to be properly given. In fact, exposure to TV, iPads, or any tablets, mobile phones until 3 to 4 years of age is strictly not recommended. In case if you have a baby of this age category, please throw your TV out. It's going to be very difficult, but yes, we have to do that. Well, this is something that the research talks about. I tried 2 times, but my wife brought it back. So yeah, now end of the day, it's the fate of my child. We'll decide that. But anyways, change eating pattern. So what happens is this particular exposure also comes up with another important effect on your stomach. So there has been cases where it's mentioned that because of long exposure to technology, internet, and phones, the acidity levels have got increased. Maybe because of the stress, maybe because of that, but this has got direct effect on your appetite. You'll have low appetite, you'll not feel like eating, or you'll want to eat the junk food. Why? Because junk food is displayed properly on all these apps with proper colors coming out, with all the smog and smoke coming out, and you're like, wow, this is the right pizza that I'm supposed to have. See, all these pizza advertisements will have smoke coming out of it. Have you seen that? But how many times have you seen it in real time? No, smoke doesn't come out of a pizza anytime. Even if you take right outside the oven, it's like it's very rare. But if you look into the advertisements and all, that kind of tempts you, which is really a negative effect. Then we neglect on alternate activities. For example, what do you mean by this? Back in those days, if you want to read the newspaper, or if you want to buy milk, this is quite a common activity in most Indian homes. We tend to go out and get the milk to our homes. We buy the newspapers. There used to be delivery men, but these delivery men, we used to go to them and tell them to drop it at home. That's how the system used to be. But now these apps have come into picture, which has definitely eased our life to a large extent. I'm not talking completely negative about it, but the problem is, if there is a possibility of buying something from outside, just outside the your main gate of your society, or just outside your home, we tend to avoid it by making things come to our home. This is a serious problem. If I have the ability and time right now to go and buy the onions and the tomatoes from the local market, vegetable market, I probably should choose that rather than ordering it on one of the baskets. I hope you're able to understand. Well, that's called as neglecting alternate activities. Another important point is gaming disorder, and that is diagnosable. Basically, these days there are certain tests and parameters, a question paper sort of a thing. When the child is answering all of them, the doctors are able to predict what the child is maximum exposed to. And that is the reason in India there are a lot of games that have got serious addiction issues have been completely banned. And that is the reason whenever you look into any gaming advertisements, including this Dream 11 for for the cricket matches and all, they say very poker as well. They say that this game is very addictive, so please use it carefully. They will not say this slowly, they'll say it very fast. This is very addictive, please use it carefully. That's it. You don't even hear that. So it's important by, or it's mandated by the government of India to tell that, just like tobacco is injurious to health on the packet of a tobacco, something like that. But people tend to miss on that. Another important word that is very common is binge watching, zero unbox, basically inbox. It's like the email thing. Binge watching is a concept of watching a series. It could be an English or a Hindi series, maybe anything that got released in Prime Video or Netflix. You like, Kyuki Saans Bhi Bahu Thi, this particular series was quite famous in Star Plus, right? Or Sony, I'm forgetting. So this used to come every day at 9 o'clock in the evening or night when I was quite a child. So people used to have that eagerness to what will happen to the Saas the next day. So we were waiting for it. But now these series are there uploaded on these OTT platforms where you can see the next episode then and there. And we try to do that. So even if one episode is about 45, 50 minutes, and if there are 10 episodes, there have been so many people out there watching all of them in one night. Now that's called as binge watching. It's like continuously watching. And that's encouraged by all these platforms. That's so bad. That's the point ultimately with respect to binge watching. FOMO is about fear of missing out, which we have understood a little bit about. We'll talk about it again with some videos. Early exposure to pornographic content and digital flashing. Now, when we talk about early exposure, there are some cases where the children get used to 18 plus content on internet when it is not properly guided. And that leads to a very different development of brain. Now that could be an addiction, that could be a distraction, that could have a huge negative impact on a long run, even for a physical body. So it's very important for us to have the right exposure at the right time. But the information is so much online that you can't have a control of it completely. So that is the reason there are some measures that could be taken in order to avoid these things. Digital flashing is an important term and a serious problem in India right now, especially among the adolescent students. Everybody feels like they need to be attractive to gain the attention. So they come up with poses. They try to edit their bodily structures, take a photo of it and upload it on their social media. That's called as digital flashing. Sometimes it also becomes little to the next level where the child wants to share a specific very private photo to another friend of his or her, which is again creating a sense of panic and fear among the students later in their life. What if my photos get leaked? What if I'm morphed? So it's very important for the students to understand the concept of it, and this has to be spoken explicitly by the parents and the teachers. And the more we talk about the incidents that has happened towards this, better is the exposure to for the students. So these are some of the harmful effects of access to technology, and I think most of you know about it. I think, yeah, yes, Shashwati ma'am, you're able to see the screen. And yes, Ruchika ma'am, you're absolutely correct. I'm just looking at the chat right now. Let's continue with further things. I have another important video about a parent and a teacher and their behavior with the children with respect to technology. Watch this video. It'll give you a very good insight about whatever we spoke about.
Oh gosh.
What do you think?
We're trying to get them more hands-on.
Oh gosh.
How does technology impact your family life?
We're trying to get them more hands-on and not only be able to solve problems on a screen.
Too much screen time, and having to navigate that.
Gaming has become a big deal in our life.
When we sit down to watch a movie, I make it very clear that there are no devices. You're focusing on this one thing.
She just finally got a phone because we needed it for coordination.
She's lucky she gets a phone.
Are you guys allowed to use your mom's phone or computer or tablet?
No way.
Technology use is where we have the greatest generation gap right now. So when a young person looks at their technology use, they see primarily the benefits. Older people look at the same thing and they see danger.
So parents will come to me and oftentimes they're looking for very strict guidelines. So they'll come and say, what age should I buy my child a phone? What age can I let my child start playing video games? The reality is there aren't very clear-cut guidelines around this.
One important thing is to get your child to talk and to begin to express themselves. What is your child passionate about? What does your kid find exciting about this? And that way you'll be in a lot better position in order to support them in creating smart rules and guidelines.
Well, that's balance with respect to technology, and especially the role of a parent is very high over here, because a teacher in a school can have the control of making the students sit in one classroom where there is no element of TV and mobile phones. But when we get back to the homes, that's where every problem starts, especially with respect to digital exposure. And in fact, I like, thanks for the people who mentioned it on the chat as well. Many people come up with this complaint stating that my child does not eat without watching a video. And if you're continuing to do that, this is a very serious problems down the line. In fact, it is said that a child's appetite or the hunger appetite is directly connected to a cue, C-U-E, a cue from a television series, or it could be anything. It's like you put the TV on and they want the food. Or else indirectly, whenever the food is present, the TV should be on. And this has got a direct effect on their mental development. The creativity gets lost to a large extent. Rather than that, it is still better you take your child out to a garden, let them watch multiple things around, and then they eat food. Quite a tiring process for a parent, but that's way better than exposing them to technology, especially watching the videos on your mobile phone. A strict, non-negotiable, big no. So let's not do that, and that should not be a cue. Fooding has to be an entertaining activity in a physical surrounding and an attribute. Please do not mistake that with technological aspects of it. Let's continue further. And now with respect to consequences, and we'll talk about the methods to overcome this. One of the consequences is emotional reactions. Sometimes when you're unhappy with something that happened on the mobile phone, you start yelling at people they are present at home. For example, I play a video game. I was just about to cross a particular level. I've been trying that for the last 1 month. Today I was just very near and I could not do it. That leads to a lot of frustration. It was an unnecessary evil over there. And that frustration leads to directly my anger on my surroundings. It could be a family member or an object that's present around me, which is not controllable. That's emotional reaction. We talk about self-blame, especially, if there is a mistake that's happening by clicking a wrong link. You lost around 5,000, 6,000 rupees. It's not your problem. It's your unawareness about cyber safety and security, because of which you start blaming yourself. That's another thing. Helplessness. You do not know where to go when there's a problem happening online. There are multiple channels, which I would like to show you right after this. Even in the digital cyber safety and security, we talked about it. So helplessness is another thing. Feeling of vulnerability. I might be caught. I am probably not fit for this game. I am not ready to, solve a paper online, something like that. Mental disorders has been very severe. We spoke about it a little bit. Sleep appetite problems, we understood that as well a little bit. Poor self-esteem is directly related to the social media. Inhibitions, addictions of gaming and the pornographic content that we're talking about. Negative self-talk and body image issues. It's the same point repeating again, but it's really important. If at all there is a teacher in this particular group, forget about the students. If there is a teacher in this particular group thinking about your appearance and there is a little bit of low self-esteem because of that, low self-confidence because of that, trust me, you don't have to feel like that, because the person whom we are looking at on screen are way more glamorous and decorative because of the technological advancements. For example, the filters. Yeah, interpersonal problems, especially in relationships. This is another major issues, and there are many movies out there which have spoken about it. A couple having a fight with each other because they were always interacting over the phone. And a couple, having an expectation that, okay, I thought this fellow is like that because he used to message me like that. Now the messaging has completely stopped in my physical surrounding. I've got married to him, but now he's not talking to me. That's again a problem of digital inhibition. So all these things come under, the category of digital well-being. Please stay away from all these things. Finally, the most important point, according to me, considering teachers, work brought into home. The concept of work from home got completely changed to work brought into home. It's very much recommended for a teacher or any person who's working in an office to keep the laptop in the office itself and come back home. Otherwise, there's always a tendency of opening the laptop. It could be your personal business, it could be something that you're most fascinated about, but spending time with the physical surrounding, especially with the family members or the nature that you're living with, is more important than continuing to work. Now, this is not an advice. This is not a piece of gyan from our side. It's something that's researched and well written. And this is also mentioned by the AIMS doctor. So it's very important to keep the phones, mobiles, laptops, everything as away as possible. In fact, there are school teachers who have got a separate device, mobile phone number for school and mobile phone number for home. And this home number is not given to anyone else. That's an important aspect. So let's work from home at times when there is required, but let's not take work to home. And here in this case, home means the family around us. Let's continue. Let's continue one more video. And this is about the dopamine. Now, what do you mean by dopamine? Dopamine is that hormone that gets released. That one culprit is responsible for the continuous scrolling on Facebook and Instagram or any social media or even YouTube for that matter. What does this dopamine do? Or why is it, always required to come out? Let's talk about it. Let's hear it from this video.
So I look at my phone and I see somebody tag me on a photo. What happens? I get a little burst of dopamine in the reward pathway in my brain. That's where pleasure comes from, right? Like that's where I experience like that little zing, like, ooh, cool. And it feels really good. After that's happened, I don't know, 10, 20, 50, 100 times, it's not as exciting as it was the first time. That's the brain changing in response to that pleasurable experience. Things that are pleasurable don't stay pleasurable with a lot of repetition. That's neuroadaptation. With heavy exposure or use of any highly dopaminergic drug, I need more and more to get the same effect. Over time, I experience less pleasure when I'm not using that drug. So you're in a dopamine deficit state. So what does that mean? That means you are more unhappy than your baseline. So the next time, or maybe the 20th time, or maybe it took me 100 times, people are different. I get my photo tagged. I'm like, and that comes because not as much dopamine was released, right? Now I need something more exciting, something more potent in order to get more dopamine release so that I register some kind of pleasure. And so I think this is really a key point, that we've got these sort of reward thresholds that get altered by consuming highly rewarding, highly pleasurable drugs.
Great. Now that's an important point by Miss Anne Lenke, and she's one of the greatest research persons on the psychiatry issues. She has spoken in Google, she has spoken in Microsoft, and a lot of her TED talks are really towards this. I would request you to actually go through it. Well, to answer your question, Vaishali ma'am, when we talk about the videos in India, probably the videos are comparatively lesser, but the authenticity of these videos are not as much as ones that I'm putting over here. So each and every video that we show over here on such a public forum where many people are coming and watching, it needs to be from the right source. We cannot put a YouTube video just because there is a YouTuber out there who's talking about it, unless it is authentic. Now these are well researched documents. We put directly from Google, we take it directly from the right person, who's, like, for example, AIMS doctors are the right people to talk about it. That's the reason all these things are there. Secondly, Indian videos are easily accessible. These are very difficult to find. That's the reason these are picked and chosen and put over here during such kind of sessions. I hope I answered the question. Now coming to the point of dopamine release over here. I would like to tell an important fact, and then finally we'll come to the last two slides. Now, I happened to meet well, my grandparents. I was lucky enough to see both of them, grandfather and grandmother, and there was a question that I always had, like, how come they used to be kind of always very close to each other. They used to have this custom, customs, custom of having the coffee and tea together in the morning and in the evening, and even for a walk, like they'll walk, and grandfather used to walk 2 steps forward, and grandmother like just right behind. When all these quite fascinated me, and I asked once, like, how do you, like, why do you love each other so much and all? Then, and why don't you express that? I mean, that was a major question, like, why don't you hug him? Why don't you say I love you? So the beautiful thing that my grandmother said was, she's an illiterate for that matter. She said that the lesser I express, the longer it stayed. So it's like, what she actually meant was, it's not important for me to say I love you to him on a daily basis. It's like more from my actions. If I do that on a daily basis, probably the butterflies that he gets when I say I love you, on a daily basis, if I do that, that will fade away. So that fading away of those butterflies that we're talking about is the dopamine kick that we're talking about. So it's like when you are getting exposed to some happy hormones on a very regular basis, daily, every minute. If I don't message I love you to my wife every 6 hours once, there's a huge war in my home. So it's like you want that deliberately. It's a mechanical thing that's happening. That's wrong. There needs to be a genuine dopamine kick that can happen only when there is the goodness given at a certain interval of time, and that could be decided with mutual understanding. You don't have to like put it on the diary, okay, today I need to say I love you. No, that's not the case. But it's like the lesser, it's like more from, you don't talk, still I hear you, something like that. So this particular fact is like applicable to such a large extent. I never expected that to happen, and today I'm realizing the fact of what my grandmother actually meant about it. That's interesting, right? Let's continue, and we're going to the last few slides, where we talk about what are the advancements that all these people are doing with respect to the technological companies that are asking us to be safe about it. One of the thing is, if something is possible on physical space, encouraging the same is ideal. If you can do something in a physical surrounding, do not use your mobile phone. It could be buying a grocery as well. Do not. It could be difficult, but do not use your mobile phone. Usage of timekeepers. Now, this is an important aspect. I would have actually shown you the mobile phone on how to do it, but considering the time, I'm not getting over there. So you can go to Instagram or Facebook. You can go to your profile, and there is this place. Let me show that to you at least on the screen, where you can have this option of controlling the time. I think you'll see this. Yeah, here it is. So you need to go to your profile. You need to click on your activity, the second option over here. It's present on almost all the social media platform, including Snapchat, even YouTube for that matter. And over there, you can click on time spent, and you can even control it. And that's where set daily limit is coming into picture. After 15 or 30 minutes of its usage, that particular application will not even open. So I would request everybody to, in case if anybody is like, I'm into YouTube for a long time, use this. The second aspect of this particular thing is, there is this website called as digital well-being. I'll show that as well. Usage of yes, parental control options called as Google Family Link. There is another family link that can come. Now, this is not present in the CIT training program. This is something that I am telling with my research over here. And for that, I would like to show you the well-being website, which looks like this. Great. So here in this case, you can see that when you come down on your Android phones, you have this option called as, bedtime mode. Under the bedtime mode, you can actually schedule the phone to go on a sleep mode. It will not come up with any notification. The whole screen will become black and white. You can only set alarm clocks, and most of the apps will not even work. So on Android, you got this option. And in fact, if you have a Google Pixel phone, they've got more options on the same regard. You can control the time of each and every app. So it can come down, say, for example, we are over here. Let me show you where it is. Where is it? Please, please. I have got minimize distractions. I click on this. This particular website is wellbeing.google.com, and Yes, here we are. So you have got the focus mode on, and under that category, you can see that your distracting apps. So on a particular day in the evening, if you open the digital well-being of Android, you'll see that on that particular day, you used YouTube, news, and Gmail to a large extent. And you can click on scheduling that, and you can also click on focus mode so that you remove all these apps from even opening for that matter. So this particular feature is quite helpful for the people who cannot control their urge of watching a YouTube video or something like that. So that is another important point, which is this particular app is also called as Google Family Link. Now, Google Family Link is about a parent controlling the mobile phone of another adolescent child, ideally adolescent. It should not be, before that, do not give the phones. So you can control the history, you can control the websites. It's a very simple thing, actually. We'll do a separate session on that probably sometime in the future, but it's ideally suggested. Whenever we talk about YouTube, it's better to use YouTube Kids, as people mostly use, and there also you have got a proper timer. Yeah, digital well-being applications to be used. There are a lot of other digital well-being applications also, like it will talk about the control of screen exposure depending on your eyeglasses power. There are some people who, what they do is, in order to avoid being away from the mobile phone, they'll buy a mobile phone that has got a number pad. Anybody did that, by the way? Anyone has got a phone which is the number pad phone, just because you were getting distracted on the other phone? If you have, then put yes on the chat, or you're planning to buy, you can put it on the chat. Well, screen time control with night display, keeping the phone far away while sleeping and charging. This is highly recommended. There are a lot of tragic incidents that has happened. So it's very important for the phone to be kept away. Importantly, keep it in a place where the alarm sound could be heard and you cannot easily access the phone, so that you can get up and go take up the phone. Usage of DND, please, search for DND on your phone, which is called as do not disturb. Enable do not disturb. All the notifications of your phone will stop. You'll not get any notifications, like let the phone be calm for some time. Then there is something called as rule setting. Now, rule setting is all about a family can decide on what things has to happen at home. For example, no electronics on the bed. I should not keep my laptop on the bed. No mobile phones or electronics after dinner or during the table, whatever it is. I mean, you can, no headphones in home. Very important. When I'm talking something, you better listen to me. Headphones, unless and until dire necessity is there, only then. Otherwise, a strict no to headphones within a home. Listen to the cooker sound. That's more important. And that's fine. Understanding physical attributes of posture associated with using digital devices. Posture is like the way you sit, the way you look at the camera. All these things comes into picture. So these are some of the methods towards digital well-being. Yeah, digital wellness. Yes, Neelu ma'am, I'll do that right after this. So now this is that Android app where we can, monitor. You can see that I don't want to show my screen deliberately, because since today morning, I would have opened. They tell how many times you have unlocked your phone. How many times did you go to a particular app? How many times? When you look at a report like that, it's so scary. Why did I even do that? I didn't want to. That's the kind of mentality that you have. And Android has got this option of doing it. So please look into it. YouTube has got how much you watched today. Screen time, you can completely stop that because of that. There are other terminologies that you need to know about digital well-being teachers. It's more from the concept point of view. In order to understand digital well-being or cybersecurity, these are the other terminologies. I would request you to take a screenshot of it, or else this particular video is going to be there on YouTube for quite some time. We have categorized all these things in our computer science curriculum as well. We wanted to have this digital well-being, cybersecurity under the bigger umbrella of digital citizenship. Well, these are some of the words: digital well-being, cyber safety and security, rights and responsibilities online, digital communication, digital emotional intelligence, digital creativity, health and self-care, digital consumerism. You're buying things from Flipkart and Amazon. You should know about it. How does the cycle work? Digital employment or entrepreneurship. You are an influencer. You keep talking online. You dance online, and that's how you make money. You should understand the employment and entrepreneurship possibilities. Digital activism and civic participation is all about signing petitions online, following a group for a particular cause. Know about it. That will lead us to a digital well-being channel. I hope everyone is able to get the insights. Let's conclude the session with one last video. And then, what's the last thing you do before you go to sleep?
One of the last things I do before bed, check my phone.
Watch some videos from my favorite channel.
Usually I check the weather. Okay, Google.
Read a book.
I really want to say that I read, because I tried it,
But the ratio of wasting time increases, I think, when I'm tired.
If I happen to like hear my phone vibrate on my nightstand, that's gonna keep me up. I'm gonna have to check whatever just popped up on my phone.
I'm on my phone pretty much for an hour before I go to sleep every night.
When people are using technology right before bed, they want to keep using it. It's activating their mind rather than shutting down their mind and allowing them to unwind. And what's often happening is patients are not able to unplug. And so there isn't kind of a natural stop time unless we put those parameters down.
So we actually can use digital technology to nudge people or remind them to do things that they want to do that are related to their personal goals. And you can do that with sleep as well.
It really should be this idea of digital mindfulness. What meaning are we getting out of our usage? Is our technology enabling us to achieve our self goals? Or is our technology distracting us and taking away from us? It's really just about how do you balance all the different activities in your life in a way that's meaningful to you and that feels good to you.
So find a balance with technology that feels right for you. So that's it from my side, teachers, on another Super Sunday workshop. It was really interesting to meet you all with respect to these sessions. With respect to Government of India, they came up with two initiatives, big initiatives on the digital well-being. One of them is called as Mano Darpan. It's about the psychological support that you can give to the children on various aspects, and technology is one of them. So Mano Darpan is a separate website by Government of India from where you can get information about how to behave. Whatever I spoke about, an exaggerated version of it, you can find it under Manodarpan. And there's another PDF document called as Pragyata. Now, Pragyata is also completely on guidelines for digital education. They've got a huge repository of information wherein, they talk about guidelines for parents, guidelines for students, guidelines for school heads and teachers on how digital education can be taken in a productive manner and in a responsible manner. So these are the two initiatives that are present in by Government of India. You can actually look into the website, you'll get more details about it. Yeah, so that's with respect to digital wellness. So for all the people who would like to have better exposure, more exposure, I would request you to go to Super Teacher official YouTube channel. Please go through the content of cyber safety and security. You'll get more information about the digital influences. Today's topic was completely on wellness. What are the things that we can do in order to not safeguard ourselves? It's more from the prevention method. Like, how can we have a beautiful life with digital aspects of it, aspects included in a life. Well, let's stop over here. Thank you so much, teachers. I would like to meet you again with another Super Sunday workshop on another Sunday, and the topics will keep continuing. For all the people who are asking, what is the teacher referral code? I'll repeat it. Somebody would have told you about joining this session, right? Either I could have mailed you directly, or you would have come to know about from somebody else. So I would request you to put their name along with their last 3 digits of their phone number. So if Sandhya ma'am told you to join this session, write Sandhya and the last 3 digits of her phone number. In that way, Sandhya's impact will be shown. If Sandhya 139, if that's her phone number, if I can see that code more than 50 times, that means more than 50 people have joined with the information provided by Sandhya. I would respect Sandhya for her sincere work of spreading the information about Super Sunday Workshop, and I'll certify her along with some other possibilities of discounts and various courses run by Super Teacher. That is the reason that has come over here. Well, it's not a mandatory field. If nobody told you, you found it by yourself, you can leave it blank, or else you can write it. I found it 50 times. I'll certify you. Anyways, thank you so much, teachers. It was great interacting with one and all. Another Sunday, and since October was the month of digitalization, cyber safety and security, digital citizenship, we covered all the technological topics over here. From next Sunday onwards, we'll get into the details on pedagogy and curriculum. Let's see what CBSE has for us. For all the people who wanted to know from where you can enroll for the programs, go to the CIET website. I'll repeat it, ciet.nic.in. Go to the website, and there you'll get the column of workshops and trainings. Click on that, you'll be able to see the upcoming events. Click on that, register over there, and you can participate in the program organized by any government body, including CIET, NCRT, Nishtha, Swayam, CBSE, Niti Aayog, and everything. I hope you got the point. That's it. So reflection form is coming on the chat. I would request everybody to Okay, you got it from the school. So if you got it from the school, preferably put your principal name and the last 3 digits of your principal's phone number, if possible, or else your school phone number. I basically want the number just to, have the uniqueness of it. That's it. You got from the school, then put your principal's name. I would recommend you to do that. Yeah, Aditi ma'am. Okay, that's great. I'm putting the CIET link on the chat right away. And whatever we spoke about, I'm putting that link itself over here. Neil Gupta, sir or ma'am, sorry, I think you got an idea of how to get the link, right? Great. So if there is any question, you can put it on the chat, teachers. I've started looking at the chat right now, and I would request you to fill up the reflection form before 6 o'clock today in the evening, so that we can certify all the people who joined. There are some questions in the reflection form about the session that has happened today. Actual questions about what is FOMO, what is digital well-being and all. So please answer it properly. You'll definitely get your certificates on time. Yeah, that's great. You can put the code on the reflection form. There's a column teacher referral code. Put it on the reflection form. Kotha, Srilata ma'am, then put your principal name over there. Great. Thank you, Seema ma'am. Thank you so much. If there is a question, put it on the chat, teachers. Otherwise, the session is complete today. Thank you so much. Namaste and Jai Hind. Bye, everyone. If there is a question, put it on the chat. I'm here to answer for a few minutes. Great. I would request you to please share these videos on your social media platform, or else, put somewhere, or else you speak about it. The more you gossip about something that you learned, the better is the retention. At least you can irritate your family members saying that, did you know what is FOMO? You can talk about it. So you can talk to your children, you can talk to your spouse, you can probably talk to your parents, even if they're sleeping. There are very difficult times when, there's hardly people to listen to us. But don't stop. Let's keep talking. अगर किसी को सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिला तो प्लीज मेल इट एट connect@superteacher.in. connect@superteacher.in. Our team members are putting all these mail IDs and links on the chat. In case anyone would like to look into our computer science curriculum, you can actually call us. I've been giving demos to the people who have been asking for it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Manju ma'am. Reflection form is there on the chat. If there is a question, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can have a happy Sunday and all the very best for the upcoming week. Right after this week, again, you have holidays. Diwali, right? It all begins from Krishna Jayanti, probably in the August 15th ke baad. And there's a series of holidays. And this can happen only from India. I don't think so any other country has this. I got info of Super Sunday from NCRT site. Oh, okay. That's great. School principal. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Vaishali ma'am. And looking at your face gives so much of encouragement every Sunday. You and Sukhdira ma'am will always be there. I'm like, oh, wow. And these are the two people who are always there. And that encourages me a lot. Thank you so much. With the video on, especially. Yeah. Some people are probably cooking right now and listening to this, right? What are you cooking? Yes, Sujata ma'am, you're absolutely correct. Bharti ma'am, then you can put Jayashri Rai, then 3 digits of phone number. Great. You're having coffee. That's great. However, it gets diluted when my child goes out and finds a friends not aware of this and uses digital media. Well, Basudev sir, that's a very good point. When we spoke about environment influence, that's going to be a difficult challenge to address. You're absolutely right. But how about coming up with a culture in the home so impactful that the child who's going out starts encouraging their circle to not use it. There could be some hard lessons that could be given to them, like effects of what happened to another child because of usage of your mobile phone, which this information could be spoken. In fact, in my society, there are few parents who have taken this initiative of talking to all the parents on all these topics. That means they say that it's important to know about it. So all the parents come to know about it. They all come to one consensus, and there is some impact that I'm able to see it, and at least in my society. So something like that could be done, but it has to be done. Oh, Shabina ma'am, cup of tea. Okay, that's interesting. Sunday special menu. Yeah, exactly. Sunday is the right time, and sometimes even skip the breakfast to have the most delicious lunch. I do that. Okay. Thank you, Sushma ma'am. Thank you so much. Certificate will be delivered to your mail ID, Kalpana ma'am. Fantastic, Ruby ma'am. That's really good to hear that. Yes, Nisha ma'am, you can. Yes, very challenging, Vasudev sir. Praveen sir, it's impossible. Yeah, that's a point that I said, that work cannot be brought home. But at least in my case, it's impossible. Very difficult. Yes, Lakshmi ma'am, you're right. You're right. Learn from all these sessions that are happening across, from Super Teacher, from CBSE, and conduct your own session in your community. Like it's very, I would say that there used to be a time when a teacher used to search for an opportunity to speak on a public forum. But with the technological advancements that we are into, you can create a session just like that, probably 1 week before, and spread awareness about it. You can become a good speaker. Yeah, I began like that, by the way. So, Lakshmi ma'am, you can do that. Thank you, Annapurna ma'am. Thank you so much. Chopped vegetables and boiled basmati rice. Okay. Oh, so sorry. I'll not mention your name. Thank you, Kalpana ma'am. Thank you so much. Oh, Sai Jyoti. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Super Sunday workshops will happen every Sunday, 10 to 11. Sugamaheshwari ma'am, that's a good point. See, YouTube for learning, being lazy to take class notes is a very good point that you brought out. But I think somewhere as a teacher, even you need to understand that, is that class notes really necessary, the one which you are giving? For example, if that class notes, the purpose of the class notes could be for reinforcement, could be for assessment, it could be for something, is that purpose being met with watching YouTube videos? If yes, then let's avoid class notes for that instance. Probably we can come up with a mechanism of better way of taking the class notes for a better topic, for a better competency, rather than for that. So just because I am writing things that are present in my textbook again in my home in the form of a homework, does not guarantee reinforcement to the same level as watching a video as well. So we can't say the students are becoming lazy. We can say that they are supposed to deliver another level of skill sets with which they can take better class notes. How about that? Did you understand, ma'am, my point? It's just my opinion about this, just my perception about it. I'm not sure if I'm completely right or not, but coming from an understanding of what class notes could be, I'm just trying to answer that question. Thank you, Shabina ma'am. Okay. Pratnya ma'am, please mail it to connect@superteacher.in. Sunita ma'am, somebody would have told you about the Super Sunday workshop, right? Put their name and their last 3 digits of their phone number as a teacher referral code. That's completely fine, Ishrat. Ishrat Faisal, it's completely fine. Send the YouTube links. It's not a problem. Bindu, since CBSE always showing seat full, will you be able to conduct more classes in order to complete? Yes, Bindu ma'am. Yeah, I'll be able to conduct, yeah, all the time. Yeah, why not? Kalpana ma'am, you'll be getting it within this week. Yeah, the certificates within like probably Wednesday or Thursday. Great. Let's close the session, teachers. Have a good time with your family. That's what it was all about today in the digital wellness session. Request you to please close the laptop immediately and just go meet your spouse or your children.